Sixth graders, this is to help you with question 8 on CR 26. It says, a scientist studied the migration patterns of two types of whales. A humpback whale traveled 2,240 miles in 28 days. The gray whales traveled 2,368 miles in 32 days. If the humpback whale traveled at the same rate for 32 days, so the same rate it's currently traveling at, how many more miles would they have traveled than the gray whales? Okay, so let's look at the humpback. You have to use your distance equals rate times time formula. So 2,240 miles is your distance. Your time is 28 days, and I'm looking for the rate. So 2,240 equals, I don't know the rate, I know the time of 28 days. So if I want to see how many miles we travel per day to get R by itself, I'll divide both sides by 28. So we have to take 28 into 2,240. So we have to do some long division here. So 28 goes into 224. I'm going to round this to about 30. 30 goes into 240 about 8 times. Let me try 28 times 8. What I did was I estimated. I changed that to a 30, which is like a 3. I changed this here to 24. 3 goes into 24 8 times is how I worked out that little estimation in my head. Let's see how it goes. 8 times 8 is 64. Put down a 4, carry a 6. 8 times 2 is 16, and 6 more, 22. Yep, it worked out perfect. It doesn't always. Usually when I estimate, I might have to go a number higher or a number lower, but it worked out. So if I subtract off, that's 0, drag down a 0. How many times is 28 going to 0? 0 times. So 80 miles per day is the rate. 80 miles per day is the rate. So let's say that that humpback whale traveled 80 miles per day for 32 days. How many more miles will it have traveled than the gray whale? Okay. So again, we'll use now distance equals rate times time. Now we don't know our distance. We don't know how far overall this humpback whale traveled, but we know that they went 80 miles per day for 32 days. So now we just multiply the rate of 80 miles per day times 32 days. So 80 times 32. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Put down a 0 placeholder. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 8 is 24. Add that up. 0, 6, 5, 2. So that distance was 2,560 miles. So now I know that this humpback whale traveled 2,560 miles in 32 days. So after 32 days, it traveled 2,560 miles. The gray whale traveled 2,368 miles in 32 days. So to find out how many more miles the humpback whale traveled than the gray whale, you just have to subtract. So you take 2,560 and subtract off 2,368. 10 minus 8 is 2. Make that a 5. Make that a 4. Make that a 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. 4 minus 3 is 1. 192 miles more that they will have traveled. Let me also say this. On your actual CR, you might have to be multiplying and dividing fractions. So if you need support in multiplying and dividing fractions, make sure you check in with the teacher for help on that. This is just to give you the process of how a problem that has several steps involving distance equals rate times time would be worked out. But in order to multiply or divide fractions, you're going to want to check in if you need support on that. Just let us know. Hope that helps.